gone to the deepest floor that anyone has ever seen, so they shouldn't face any problems here. While Selma and Carol surround her asking what the dungeon looks like on the deeper levels and what kinds of monsters can be seen there, Orhan replies that the deep floors start at around level 72. And the ecosystem changes and becomes a rugged snowy mountain with frequent blizzard and snowstorms and ice lizards who lurk in the darkness waiting for you to fall asleep. With that, Orhan tells them to focus on the task at hand, as he doesn't want them to be freaked out at this point, and they move deeper into the dungeon. The entire cave seems to be empty, which makes it feel very eerie, and Logan claims that they haven't seen a single monster on this floor yet. He turns towards Orhan and asks whether the 40th floor is usually like this. Orhan shakes his head, while the knot inside his stomach tightens as he wonders whether his gut feeling was right, and there is indeed something very wrong with the dungeon today. Carol starts making a ruckus about how she wants to fight some monsters already, when from behind one of the rocks, a blue goblin emerges. Carol is overjoyed to finally see a monster and immediately rushes at it without a second thought. Orhan tries to stop Carol, but she was too far gone. So he quickly uses his agility down debuff to reduce the speed of the goblin, which helps Carol kill him in a single quick attack. She starts celebrating, but Orhan tells her not to rush at the enemies without thinking. He claims that the blue goblins are really fast and strong, and she could have been in danger, which would force both Logan and Sophia out of position and endanger them as well. Carol recognizes her mistakes, so to soften the blow, Orhan decides to teach her a style of active defense, and explains that she needs to focus on the enemy's movements and attack at the right moment, which would be just before they can launch their own attack. This will stop their attack from ever happening and give the rest of her party an incredible advantage. Carol hears it in awe, but soon Logan shoves her aside and asks for some guidance as well. He tells them to turn around as two wolf monsters run at them from behind. Before they could even come anywhere near, a magical trap activates and spikes them in the body. Orhan tells Logan that he should start with the trap spells, which would let his team focus on the enemy in front of him instead of being worried about what might attack them from behind. Logan hears every single thing enthusiastically, as he thinks in his mind that he wants to become a mage just like Orhan in every single regard. Orhan then turns towards Sophia and tells her that she should start learning how to use 2 magic spells at once. She replies that it sounds complicated, but Orhan promises that it isn't as difficult as it sounds, and anyone can use 2 magical spells at once with a little bit of practice. He claims that the advanced lever casters can even use a dozen magic spells at once. Sophia is shocked to hear this, and asks why can't she simply learn how to use the stronger versions of the current magic that she uses, and Orhan explains that using stronger magic attacks requires time to process them and get them ready, which leads to a bunch of downtime during which they are completely vulnerable and can't really do anything about it. If she learns how to use multiple spells, she can ready a second spell preemptively while her first one is about to fire. This way her downtime would be damn near zero, and she wouldn't have to face any vulnerability during her fights. With that, they finally manage to reach the boss room, where the guides come together and tell the newbies to stand behind and watch while they deal with the boss. Orhan enters the boss room with the others and tells them to focus on attacks, as he will try to support them as much as he can. With that, the fight begins, and Orhan immediately goes on the offensive, as he seizes the perfect moment to attack and slashes at the monster's legs just as it was to attack, causing it to stumble back. Before the monster could back off and regain his balance though, Orhan had already placed a trap behind, which creates a wall behind the boss and stops him from dodging. Selma immediately uses multicast magic, creating 5 magic circles all at once and attacks, while the tank blocks the attack and the other swordsman finishes the fight with a single slash of his sword. The newbies watch in awe as the fight was over in an instant. Logan can't believe the precision with which these rankers fight, as there was never a wasted step, and everything was picture perfect. With that, the expedition moves forward, clearing one level after the other and finally reaching floor number 50's boss room. The boss turns out to be a giant crab with damn near indestructible shell. Selma tells Orhan that he is the strongest amongst them, and if he can slash through the giant claw of the crab, the rest of them can deal with it, and they can all return back home for a feast. Orhan smiles and takes out his sword, confidently moving towards the giant monster, while the tank tells him to be careful, as the crab's shell is supposed to be incredibly hard and very difficult to break through. Orhan doesn't seem to care though, as he jumps in the air and smashes his sword against the crab's joint, effortlessly slashing through its giant claw, which removes the one threat that they had to be careful about. With that out of the way, Selma and the others easily deal with the monster, and everyone claps as the expedition finally comes to an end, and they all get ready to head back. Their celebration is cut short though, when Orhun feels an immense sense of dread, and suddenly the reality itself breaks and the black dragon emerges from the rift, flying straight towards them. Orhun's blood dries up at the sight of the black dragon, and he screams at everyone to run. But it seems like he is the only one who is even able to think everything, because even the other A-rank guides are frozen in their place because of the immense pressure they feel. The A-rankers, unable to move, think, why the hell is this happening? Why is a literal monster attacking them at such low-level floors? Selma is the only one who could even think a little bit, but even she is unable to move. She realizes that she needs to take command right here and right now to make sure that the rookies escape this monstrosity. But the immense aura of the dragon seems to be making the air heavy, sucking the oxygen out of the atmosphere as Selma thinks about all the horror stories she has heard about the black dragon, the monster who preys upon the adventurers and completely slaughters them beyond recognition. Orhun immediately starts racking his brains with ideas to get out of this deadly situation when she suddenly realizes that they have already defeated the boss of this level, which means that if they can reach the crystal at the end of this cave, they can safely teleport back. That's the only way out of this mess, so he thinks about rallying the others behind his plans, but when he turns around to call the others, he realizes that they are all stuck in a trance, unable to take their eyes off the monster. This is beyond scary, as monsters naturally get attracted by huge groups of people, so the dragon will do the same, and if they don't move away immediately, they are going to get immediately smoked. For a short moment, Orhun thinks that maybe he should simply try to make a run for it towards the crystal, as he can definitely survive this alone. But he immediately discards that thought, disgusted by himself, and realizes that he must fight with the dragon to give the others some time to escape safely. He decides that he is not going to betray them no matter what, and is going to defeat the dragon. With that, he grabs a hold of his sword and draws it with a fierce determination to safeguard the people he cares about. He screams at the other guides to get into position, which breaks them out of their trance, and Selma comes back to her senses as well. She orders the others to take a defensive posture to make sure that the rookies are kept out of danger. And immediately the A-rank adventurers get to work. The mage creates a magic barrier to soak the damage of the dragon's attack, but Selma realizes that her magic is not nearly strong enough to stop the blast. Orhun, on the other hand, fearlessly runs at the dragon, but immediately casts a protective spell of his own to reinforce the guides. Thankfully, this was enough to save them from certain death. But they are thoroughly shaken, knowing that without Orhun they would be a bunch of ashes right now. Orhun dodges the dragon's attack while tactically backing off, but doesn't give the dragon any open chances to charge his attack. He quickly draws out a small dagger and throws it at the monster's eye. The dragon immediately closes its own eye to prevent himself from going blind. But it was all a part of Orhun's plan, as he uses that split second to jump at the dragon, aiming to behead it with a single swing of his sword. The slash creates an immensely strong blast, spreading dust and smoke all over the cave, which makes the guides think that he might have defeated the beast. But Orhun knows better than that and keeps his guard up. As the dust clears up, the dragon rises up once again with a scream of anger, but completely unharmed. Orhun orders the guides to cover the rookies on all sides and make sure none of them get hurt at any cost, while he distracts the dragon. Selma looks unsure about the situation, but Orhun smiles and tells her not to worry, as he has a plan to deal with this situation. He tells the rookies to hang in tight, and with that he launches himself towards the dragon, who immediately charges his fiery breath and attacks Orhun, who dodges the hits and starts running circles around the monster, trying to distract it to the best of his abilities. Selma and the others are astounded at Orhun's skills and his bravery, considering that he decided to deal with the dragon on his own. Selma questions herself, wondering whether it is the right decision to let Orhun deal with that deadly beast alone. The same beast who killed the mighty hero Albert. She realizes that she cares a lot about Orhun at this point, and it would destroy her if anything happened to him. Orhun is completely in the zone, though, as he dodges one attack after the other and even manages to reflect one of the dragon's attack right back at it, enraging the dark beast even more. Logan and Sophia are shocked to see the reflection magic, as they have never seen anything like that before. That is in fact the case, as even the best mages in the world can't pull that off, as magical reflection is one of Orhun's original spells in his arsenal, which reflects any magic attack at the attacker with double the force. To his annoyance though, the dragon's scales are so hard that even after eating such an incredibly strong fire blast, it still stands tall, completely unscathed. He realizes that he has no options left, and he will have to take some chances now. He quickly uses a multicast status boost, creating 6 magic circles all at once and boosting his potential. Selma is impressed to see this, as even the high-level mages have trouble using multicast for more than 3 magic circles, but Orhun used 6 without breaking a sweat. She wonders whether she should help though, as even after boosting his own stats, Orhun wouldn't be strong enough to deal with the monster. Before she could reach a decision, Orhun uses a second all-stat boost spell on himself, before using yet another boost. In total, he multiplies and doubles his own stats 6 different times, which leaves the guide speechless, as it is supposed to be completely impossible for anyone to be able to do that. Orhun starts glowing like a Super Saiyan, with lightning surrounding his body and everything. The dragon doesn't seem to know what happened to Frieza at the hands of the Saiyans though, so it continues to try and attack Orhun with a tail smack. But Orhun disappears and appears hanging on the ledge so quick that Selma felt like he teleported there. Selma is left trembling as she realizes the true potential of Orhun, who has gone beyond the level of any support mage in history, and is literally recreating the way anyone saw magic, using one original spell after another. Orhun drops down to the ground, but blood starts coming out of his nose. He knows that he has increased his stats beyond human potential, but his body is still that of a human, and it can't handle the amount of strain his stats are putting on his body. Moreover, his mana is being depleted very quickly since he is basically using 32 spells at once, whose burden is too great for any caster to sustain for a long time. He knows that the only chance he has at winning is by going all out and finishing this fight as quickly as possible, so he runs at the dragon, dodging its attacks, and jumps up to attack from above. The dragon realizes that and immediately tries to smack him down with its tail, but Orhun is not a dumbass and manages to create a mana block which he is able to stand upon, causing the dragon to whiff his attack. Logan is shocked and wonders whether this is another one of his original spells. Orhun uses this special spell of his called Magic Convergence, which can sap the mana from the environment and focus it on a small area. Oliver has the same ability,